the pyramids, we rise again. We met on docks when the world was asleep. Three lost souls in the digital deep. Cody spinning stories like a desert wind. East 10 outpost where the human tale begins. Aaron chasing ghosts through the jungle rain. Megalithic mystery running through his veins. Me and the multiverse, mic in my hand, calling down the legends across the land. From the Nile to Machu Picchu, ankles golden flame, ancient Tengu whispers, Yucatan calls on now. We are the bad crew, breaking ancient news. Different blood, different years, same truth. Brothers forged in fire, bonded by the stone. Wherever the lost seas call, we're never
Welcome, everybody. What a fantastic intro. Today is Sunday, August 23rd, and this is Breaking Ancient News. Today, we are super excited to be joined by the legend himself, George Howard. George, how are you doing today? And thanks for joining us here on Breaking Ancient News.
Hey, thanks for the invite, guys. It's good to see you. I'm very excited about it. I don't do a lot of live streams. I think it's a lot of fun, and you guys are terrific. I can't wait to have a good talk and share some crazy shit.
Wonderful. We're going to get into some good stuff today. We're looking forward to it. Of course, I'm Aaron over at Megalithic Mystery. We've got Cody over at the East 10 Outpost on with us.
What's
Dave
happening?
over at Dave's Multiverse, and our wonderful producer Sierra in the background as well, pulling stuff up. So we've got a great show ahead of us, guys, today. So let me just dive into these topics this week because there's some fantastic stuff that's been going on, some breaking discoveries, new podcast episodes that everybody's going to be looking forward to. The big story here that we want to cover is the new Y-Files episode, The Basque Bloodline. Are they descendants of Atlantis? AJ gets into some exciting stuff, breaks down the story of the Basque that I'm going to break down for you guys, and the bloodline and this very weird genetic trait that the bloodline of the Basque have. Of course, we'll be checking in with George Howard and all the stuff he's been up to, from the Fauci trial to the Biondi paper to Cosmic Summit coming up possibly next year. Jay Anderson was at Contact in the Desert and had a pretty rough experience, and actually gave them a public shout out, or I guess call out.
Yeah.
Shout out. We'll be covering that as well. Megalithic Mystery Channel's been up to some new videos. So is East 10 Outpost producing some stuff. The most underrated interview podcast in the entire alternative community sphere, alternative history sphere. Dave's Multiverse has been interviewing some great guests, of course. Göbekli Tepe, there's been new excavations, some 10,000-year-old domestic buildings. We covered a little bit last week, but we'll cover that again because some more stuff has come to light. Randall Carlson, he had Derek Olson on there of Megalithic Marvels talking about giants in American mounds. And then, if we have time to get to it, we're going to play the ancient satellite map game for everybody new that's joining us here for the on the Cosmic Summit channel, Cosmic Tusk. Every week we play this game, and a chance for you, our viewers, to win one of these autographed hats. I'll ship it to you anywhere in the world. I hate doing that because I have shipped them to Australia, I've shipped them to England, I've shipped them to Scotland, and it really doesn't help my financial situation when I have to do that. But I will do it for anybody that wins a ancient satellite map game. I'll ship this hat to you anywhere in the world. We'll be playing that as well with George Howard and, of course, our wonderful producer Sierra. See how good their ancient history knowledge is. But let's just dive right into it. I'm hoping that everybody here has at least been aware that AJ over at the Y-Files, AJ and the Y-Files crew popped out a new episode. If you could pull that up there for us.
Dave's been asking, and AJ delivered.
I just think it's funny.
He willed it into existence.
For the last 2 weeks, I've been saying we need more Lost Ancient History on the Y-Files.
Yep.
And then lo and behold, AJ heard me. And we got a
made it rain on
about
you,
Atlantis.
Yeah. What more could you want?
Let me tell you why this is significant, guys, because this story fascinated me. I'm actually in Idaho, and in Boise, Idaho, we have a huge community of Basque people. I like.
Interesting.
Like I had no idea really what the Basque were. And you go down there to do Basque food, and they have the cultural dances. But AJ really breaks down the history of these people, where they come from, where their language comes from or doesn't come from.
Right.
Some very interesting features about their blood. And the more that he gets into it, you more to realize that there is something very, very strange about the Basque people. Euskera is their language. It has no common root with any other language. Now, you learn that this is not unique. There's, like Japanese and Korean are both the types of languages like this, but it's very strange because the Basque originate in the area near France and Spain, kind of the Mediterranean area, but their language has no connection with any other known relatives. And they also, the Basque, so the story is that they are, potential descendants of or survivors of the destruction of Atlantis. And they have and according to or similar to the stories of the Epic of Gilgamesh or the Bible or the Book of Enoch specifically, where it talks about the visitors from outer space coming down and breeding with us, with the humans, the Basque have a high occurrence of Rh negative blood. And the oral traditions of the Basque have always been for the last thousands of years that we need to breed within this community. We need to, not marry outside the Basque community. And there's a very specific reason for that, because this Rh negative blood feature actually causes child mortality when mixed with high infant mortality when mixed with a person that has Rh positive. And the majority of humans on Earth have Rh positive, but they have this weird sect of people, the Basque, that have this Rh negative. So definitely go and watch this video. But one thing I want to get your guys' thoughts about is this specific section right here. And I'll kick it over to George. George, have you watched this video yet?
No, damn it, I didn't get the memo. I surely would have watched Y-Files, guys. I'm sorry.
AJ drops it and we watch it. It's
I know.
Shameless consumption.
And it's a great subject. He's so good at picking subjects.
He is.
A killer subject. I'm interested. As soon as I saw the thing about an hour ago, I was like, oh God, man, I didn't.
Yeah.
But, so leave me out. Y'all.
Well, we'll get your thoughts on it here in just a sec. Sierra, hit play for us and let's listen to a little bit about this Wi-Fi. I'll go for about a minute and a half. I'll tell you when to stop.
All right, sounds good.
Euskera has some Latin words, but they're borrowed and came along very recently. It's a language that comes from nowhere, unless you count the middle of the sea, because they have a word for Atlantis, Atlantica, but not a word for their own country. The Basque don't even have a word for themselves. They call themselves Euskaldun, which means one who has Euskera, not someone from a place, someone who speaks a language. And the language refuses to die. Rome tried, then the Visigoths, then the Moors. Euskera survived. In 1937, Francisco Franco's regime banned Euskera. It survived anyway. Not through books or media, it was illegal. Instead, it was spoken quietly at dinner tables. Parents taught their children, just as they were taught. Just as their grandparents were taught going back thousands of years.
A secret language your government can't read? Somebody write that down. Don't tell the IRS.
DNA from a 5,000-year-old grave in northern Spain only matched one group of people still alive today, the Basques. And even their bones looked different. They have broader shoulders and bigger frames. Basque skulls measured in the 1800s were closer to Cro-Magnon than other Europeans.
Different blood, different language, different skulls. At what point does science just admit these are X-Men?
Go ahead, stop there, Sarah.
5,000 years, the rule.
So he brings up 3 different things that are like absolutely provable. They have a language that's not connected to other languages. They have a blood feature that's very specific to them, and they have different shaped skulls. George, have you ever heard of the Basque people? And have you ever heard of any of this information?
Yeah, I have. I couldn't have ticked off that, and I didn't know about the skulls, but I've known about the language as absolutely no explanation, or it is just unique.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not connected, which language tells you a lot, man. That's the DNA of communication, you know?
Yeah. It's very interesting, and they have specific Basque words that they find on these artifacts at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. They talk
Ancient.
about this hand that has a Basque word on it. Dave, did you watch the episode yet? Did you get all the way through it?
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out.
Yeah.
They got 300 plus thousand views in like less than 24 hours.
So quick.
Yeah, I did watch it, and I didn't know this, so I wanted to ask the chat. Did you guys know about this? Let us know in the chat. I didn't know. I didn't know about these people. So, and AJ is the best storyteller on YouTube, in my opinion.
He is.
It's a close second with him and Mr. Ballin. I don't know if you guys know Mr. Ballin, but he does like weird, strange, unusual. So the way he strung this together was just brilliant, and how it ties into Plato, how he tied it into Plato and everything. There's something there, guys. That's what I will say. That's all.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I want to go down to the Basque Center here in Boise, Idaho, and see if I can get some details.
Dude,
Cody, what were your
A
thoughts
lot
about
of
it?
Basque in Boise. I always think it's so interesting how some ethnicities
Right.
gather in just seemingly unlikely places.
Right,
Yeah.
like Boise, Idaho. What a
Yeah.
strange place. Well,
Yeah.
especially with their like seafaring history. That's a very landlocked, spot.
Mhm.
They're seafood people. They're Atlantic coastal people.
Right, you would think they would larger populations would remain. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's the thing that really surprised me was the Rh negative, because I've looked into that for a long time. Hitler was obsessed with it. He loved studying what that was about, as have a lot of other people throughout history. And anytime people like that are looking at certain things and studying them, it makes me very curious. Why? What did you know about that you were looking into it so heavily? So to hear that the Basque population was so prevalent with Rh negative, I found that fascinating, because it is one of those things that, like a lion and a tiger, like under certain genetic conditions, the liger can be produced, but a liger cannot reproduce usually, and it's because of the same kind of phenomena as the Rh negative factor in humans. So the implications of that are immediately, what the hell, so that to me, I did not know that previously, and I found that most fascinating of all, because something very strange is happening with that Rh negative factor and where it originates from.
Yeah, I found it interesting that they called it Atlantica, and that's the name of Michael Donnellan's documentary, Atlantica. I wonder if there's a connection there.
Richard
funny
Dillum
enough,
just popped in the chat here, said he's RHA negative. Interesting. Richard, good friend of the show. And Deborah Werty, also in the chat, says she's Rh negative. Interesting. Looks like we got some people out there. Well, they said it's like 13% of the population, so they're 1 out of 10, more than 1 out of 10, so.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got back from visiting Michael, the documentarian of Atlantica, and went over there, and I was just looking at the Basque, like, where is the Basque region? I thought it was in northern Spain. And not only is it northern Spain, it's as far as from where Donnellan is as you can get and stay on the Atlantic coast.
Huh.
So if he's right about it being down there, which I don't think, just because it's not there doesn't mean the people aren't from, but that means they just moved kind of as far as you can get.
Well, if the story is true, they kind of went wherever the waves took them.
Yeah.
You mean literally?
That's a good segue into talking about. That's a good segue into talking about George and his trip to Spain.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's move on to our next subject here. For everybody watching, go check out the Y Files, one of the best channels on YouTube. Lots of great stories, lots of ancient history. But yeah, George took a little trip overseas. We got a lot of things to ask you, George. You've been going on a lot of trips here, but yeah, let's hear about this Beyondy one. What did you think about him doing the presentation, and then kind of some of the follow up with the retraction that happened?
Yeah, it was a two-part trip that had two separate subjects. One was, but they're kind of related in ways, but one was to visit Bologna, Spain, and go to Felipe and Corrado Malonga's conference, which was just them. They used the word conference a little bit differently, and there were 1,000 people there. And then the second one was because I was over there, to go over and visit our buddy Michael Donnellan, the producer of Atlantica, and who lives in Cadiz, Spain, which is the very southernmost Atlantic coast of Spain, whereas the Basques there. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. My dad had always raved about it. He'd been all over the place, and I'd never been there. So had a great 4 or 5 days with him. So a two-part thing with Filippo, who I've become good friends with. That, like I said, they had 1,000 people there. It was 98 degrees. I mean, it was just sweltering. People pushed up against the door. I could not believe the enthusiasm. I didn't know till a day or two out that it was just them. I was kind of picturing some other kind of academic conference, and no, it was rabid fans of Corrado Malonga. That this guy has a huge following. He doesn't publish much in English, and as you've probably seen, he doesn't ever speak in English. So he's just not a thing over here. We think everything is being so homogenized, but it's not quite there yet. You know what I mean? There's still people who are super regionally popular on the internet, but they're just speaking different languages. So Corrado had a lot of fans, Filippo too, and Corrado gave kind of a wide-ranging presentation that included a lot of his speculation about the deep past and Egyptian connections to China, et cetera, some fascinating stuff. And then Filippo got out there and just blew it out of the water and showed much more detailed scans of the purported second Sphinx. I found it very convincing. I continue to be convinced. I could be damn wrong. I don't really care. And I'm very comfortable with ambiguity, but this one, I think he's on to something. I think people are selling it way short. And I've actually signed an NDA with him and keep up with the commercial arm of it on pretty much a daily basis. And it's a great little company called Anubis Labs out of Charleston, South Carolina. And my friend Brett Egloff has relationship with with Filippo. And the commercial things prove crazy speculative stuff. So just stay tuned. Yeah. When somebody starts paying you to look under something, it's game over. I mean, they're not, and the people that are looking at paying them to look underground are not ones to be fooled. And it passes every test as far as I'm aware. But it's interesting stuff, man. I mean, like I say, don't sell Filippo short. It's a great presentation. Trevor Grossi and buddy Frank Regola, who is having disclosure in Mackinac, maybe next weekend or the 12th, weekend of the 12th. That's another good conference for people to go to, particularly if you're up in Michigan. Disclosure in Mackinac. They were there too, and they put out a completely dubbed, wonderful, transcribed, dubbed, etc. Recording of the full 3-hour presentation in Bologna. So anybody can go see that, and I highly recommend it. Yeah,
wonderful.
And nice. Then stage 2 was to go see and actually spend a couple of days and lay around and all that. It was much more work trip to Bologna, and was to go see Michael Donnellan. And I just had always wanted to see him. I'd interviewed him a number of times, and he's got this cool little studio, man.
Yeah, he does.
It looks like he's in Malibu or something.
It looks like he's on a ship deck or something.
Yeah. So I was always like, and I'd heard descriptions and seen the movie and all the beautiful cinematic. I mean, I was like, God, did my dad love this area? So I just got to go see Donnellan. And man, it lived up to it. That guy is fun as shit.
He's very charismatic and gregarious.
and he was famous.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the Malonga thing, but it was even more striking that it was difficult to get around the town. It was kind of, I mean, people, shopkeepers, Michael D, what's up, baby? And women coming up and throwing their arms around him. And you know why? Because he found Atlantis, and that town's always thought it was Atlantis.
It doesn't hurt that he's like 6'6" and jacked too.
Yeah. Oh God, good-looking guy. Got these.
He stands out like a sore thumb.
So then I go to his house, and I was, to go meet his wonderful wife, Claudia, etc. And I was like, well, let me. And the little studio lived up to it. He's on the beach. It's just awesome, man.
Living the life.
He does in the area. Well, y'all wouldn't get this, but people in North Carolina, I say it's like California and Beaufort, North Carolina mated and had a Spanish child.
I come from Northern California originally, so I
it had that California vibe, but then it kind of had this fishing village thing that we get here in North Carolina, and but then there's a Spanish overlay, of course, But those are some neat places, and it's all embodied there in the Cadets.
George, cool. I was supposed to go there in June, but I was supposed to go pick up my niece, but she came home early, so it just didn't work out that way. But I wanted to ask, because I was going to do this with him, did he take you down like to the ocean, to any of the sites and stuff like that? Did he get you scuba diving at all?
No, I just missed. I would have hit the boat stuff because, and says a lot again about how this guy's famous over there, that the UK's most highest paid presenter, I forget the name of the show, but like a big deal, had just left 3 days of filming with him out in the boats and all that kind of stuff. So a big UK visit from a big time host. But yeah, so I missed all the boats. When I got there, that was kind of all over, and we just hung out. But of course, we went down the beach. We saw the fish corrals. We went and saw the suspected tsunami layers on shore.
Cool.
That's incredible. We went up to the archives that they keep all of the Age of Expedition. It's the best archives of the
That's cool.
Yeah, Magellan, Columbus, so cool. They all sailed out of his little town, which isn't even Cadiz. It's up in the north. It's the different part of the province on the Guadalquivir River or whatever. And that's where they all sailed out of. So they've got this beautiful little castle kind of thing that, what was the name of the family? I don't know. They were richer than the king, but they financed all that stuff. And they had the archives there. So like Michael walks in and the archive's like, a Michael. You just walk in there, they'll bring out those old books, which normally would not be of interest to me. But I think I'm going to go back in October for a number of reasons. But you can just take your damn phone now, and I send it to my buddy Chad. Some picture of some ancient Spanish thing, and it'll translate it. It did it to an ancient German, like an old German language engraving I have downstairs from the 1600s. I've been wondering what that thing said for 25 years. I took one picture of it and it translated it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so think about getting in one of those archives.
Yep.
Normally do you no good without a translator.
Yeah.
Or
the access we have now is wild.
It's like it's Star Trek, man.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to find. It is kind of Star Trek-y, and I don't think I'm going to necessarily find anything. I just think that would be cool to flip open one of those books to a random page, and have them writing, "We sailed into Cuba," and the cliffs were intimidating, and blah blah blah.
Even if it's just mundane, you're just reading like somebody decided to like put huge effort into writing and preserving hundreds of years. So
and archives like that are so large. If you just pulled out a random book or something, it might be no one's ever read it.
Yeah.
Before we swirl too far, George, I gotta ask you. I've been dying to know the scans. I've been on the fence about them. But you're a serious guy that I take seriously. You trust the Sphinx scan and this technology. You feel good about it?
Yeah, I do, for kind of a number of reasons.
Which I know you can't get into all of them.
Commercial arm, right? I've come to trust the commercial arm. A lot of that's trust, not primary stuff, because even if I'm under NDA, it's not like, okay, now give me the stuff. That's just not
right.
Cool, and but I've heard enough and I've seen some. And I think even if I didn't have that personal advantage of seeing behind the curtain a little bit, I would still be very bullish on Filippo, because it doesn't add up, man. I mean, he's been married. Just look at it this way. Been married 30 years. You think he got up one day and said, "Hey, honey, I'm a radar tomographer and I publish obscure papers with mathematical formulas." Well, this year I'm going to fake shit on Photoshop and try and fool the world. I mean, come the fuck on, man. Nobody does that. I mean, if he had
it does seem wild.
I get it for Malcolm Bendall types for sure, but I'm even comfortable with that. Doesn't mean I believe it, but I'm comfortable with ambiguity. But this is just a different nature, man. And I've said it a number of times, recorded, sound like a broken record, but I don't think it's beyond the ken of man to do something like this. For God's sakes, the people that throw shade on Filippo think that they're hovering skateboards hiding in mountains in Arizona and and that all this stuff is, and most of it's true. Well, how about just a regular old mortal genius that comes up with something that makes a lot of sense that man could do eventually? I mean, look a couple of miles down under the earth. That's just that idea is not some seemingly impossible thing to me given the progress of technology. In fact, it seems like it's a few years late. And I've also said, if you think we don't know what's under those nuclear mountains in Iran, then you underestimate man.
Oh, for sure.
Since I've been 13 years old, we've been trying to look inside those mountains in Iran. I'm sure we have figured it out. So if Filippo, either there's something crossed there, or somebody independently comes up with something that can do the same thing that we can already do, which is very possible too. But I just don't find it mind bending. I think a lot of people don't want mysteries to end.
Yeah.
And this one will put some to bed, son.
Well, man, it'll open up so many more. I mean,
and then
that's the thing.
Is going to look like the biggest fraudster in the universe.
But he has so many more grains of sand to run his little fingers through. I know, but there's going to be new ones miles under.
If you had a magic wand and you could just decide what happens over there in Egypt, George, what would you do? What would be the first thing that you would do?
Go get a couple of bulldozers and dig that fucking Sphinx up.
That's like the easiest solution, right?
I mean, maybe a dust sweeper or whatever. Get a team. My church could go dig that up on a weekend,
right?
Volunteer thing, or maybe clean out Campbell's tomb behind the
I
scenes.
personally volunteer my labor and effort and time. If anybody gets a team assembled, I will go out there, hard hat, shovel. Let's rock.
I think you get every post-grad archaeologist that's submitted a paper that could get over there, work for free, dig it out.
Yes.
Yeah. George, last week we covered the paper being retracted. And I said last week that I'm not surprised that it's retracted, and not because of the methodology or anything, but the high scrutiny. That
anything that pushes an envelope.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah. All patents can't be reverse engineered immediately.
Yeah.
If you could, we'd all be running around with all sorts of cool shit that we did ourselves that somebody else patented, and just because we didn't sell it, it's legal. You can go duplicate any patent you want, right, for free, and not have to send them a license as long as you don't exploit it for commercial purposes. So y'all go put together some stuff and enjoy all the fruit of man's knowledge. No, what they did, I mean, they reversed engineered, it didn't work. There's there are levels to this stuff.
Yeah.
And it would very much surprise me. Now, that doesn't mean someone couldn't take that, continue to work on it and make it work. Okay. So I wouldn't think they need any encouragement if people had those kind of skills. But again, these things are rocky roads. I think there was some, I don't know. I thought it was more, I'll give it this. I thought it was more mischievous and not malicious, but kind of petty and academically hostile is what I figured the retraction was, because I've been on 2 big retracted papers. One, I don't know, the thing where we found Sodom, published in Nature, so there for 3 years, unbelievably comprehensive, detailed paper, and they retracted it because of what I call process crimes.
That's wild.
Where it's not the fundamental evidence, it's this or that, and you keep complaining, and these days people are so weak. Nature finally gave in, and they'll rue that day. So retractions don't bother me. I thought it was a process crime, but no, the guy was competent from what I understand, in the actual mathematics, but that doesn't mean he could complete. So he went and said, I gave this a shot. I didn't get what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. The editors have questions. They're already getting a bunch of heat. And you like to think that they're grizzled, principled men of science back there as the editor. No, they're not.
No.
Probably one of the weakest, scaredest cats.
Yeah.
They've never been in the middle of a controversy in their life. The editor of radar tomography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there was just
Yeah.
a lot of pressure for them to retract it from the get-go. And
Oh, yeah.
and they were going to find a reason to retract it.
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's what I think.
Could be right.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it doesn't pan out, but a lot of attention has been paid to this.
Yeah.
All over the place, and it proves out. It's funny. It seems with commercial types, and there are a couple of TV shows that are very interested in it. That's all I'll say there. So there should be, that would actually lead to a little red meat for the public, perhaps. Right?
Yeah, that would get the people going, and there's TV shows involved for sure. I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
they get their fingers in everything. But,
Hey, I just got a warning says, oops, something wrong. Try reloading the page. Should I hit reload? And
Yeah,
maybe,
go for it. See what happens.
Okay, if I drop out, I'll be back. Bye.
yeah.
Former co-host of the Multiverse, Mike, says George's Italian accent was great. I would also like to hear Dr. Biondi do an American accent impression. Peace.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hey, Mike says hi, George.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, brother?
Well,
Okay,
hey,
let's
George,
do
you
it.
know, you brought up a couple of things that'll segue us into our next thing, our next subject here. This one that Cody's been dying to ask you about, because you brought up a Nature article and you brought up a redaction. And there's somebody else that I know that had his hand involved in publishing a Nature article that should be redacted.
Retracted.
And we got to sit there, retracted. Yeah, you should got to sit there during that hearing.
Oh.
Yeah, George, that was wild to see you there. Wild.
And the most badass of pictures too. Like it
We
needs
have
to
that?
be
Do you
said.
have it?
Yeah, if Siri, if you can go to George's X and go
Put 'em on
through the
Facebook
media on there.
maybe.
Okay, on the Facebook page,
Yeah,
if that's easier. Okay, but I it just has to be said while she's pulling it up. You're gonna have to give us the backstory, but those pictures just right off the get are freaking epic. Like I hope your kids like show this off and they're like, this is my paw. Like,
No, they thought for like 3 days it was AI, and we're telling their friends my dad's good with AI.
my dad's kid with it. See, that's what they do to us, right? We can't have anything. It's like I did something cool, and they're like,
Right, I'm real. That was
Look at this, guys. Look at this.
Gee,
This is a real picture, you guys.
it looks like the metaphors, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And the metaphors one could draw from this of you just representing the feeling of the American people and this man. Tell us a little bit, George, about how you got there, what your feeling is from these hearings, and what your takeaway is moving forward. We would love to hear a little bit about that.
Man, thank you for giving me a chance, because it doesn't really fall in what I call our constellation of subjects, which y'all share too.
That's okay. I think it does.
It kind of does.
It does. It's modern history. It's modern history being made right now. 1,000 years from now, they will talk about this time. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's perverted. It's perversions of science that has huge consequence, but it's obvious. So that's just like some of the things we deal with it, where you're like, hold on, I spent a day. I mean, sometimes all it takes is a day looking into this, and every alarm in my head goes off that something else is up than the mainstream thing. And that's what we do with a lot of these subjects. This is just another one, and it's sciencey. So it's not too far off, but it's hard to work aliens in,
Well, how'd you get there? Tell us a little bit about it and your feelings and everything.
Well, I'm totally obsessed with it. That's why I'm glad I'm able to talk about it. Since the hearing, I've been spending 10 to 12 hours a day, every single day, working on this. I mean, 7 days a week.
Thank you.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Man, it's a beautiful kind of obsession, and I get them to varying levels. And this one is about as intense as I've ever gotten, where the work does not seem like work. I cannot stop myself. I mean, I am doing everything I can to bring the University of North Carolina, to bring transparency to their activities with regard to COVID. I'm an alumni of the school. I have deep ties to it, and it needs to come clean. Now, come clean, I just mean let us test our hypothesis. that significant parts of the world, suppressed as it is, have a hypothesis that Carolina was involved in a way that we need to know about. Okay, that's a hypothesis. Well, this is an academic institution paid for by the public. They should certainly allow us to test it against the evidence.
Yep.
They have withheld 5,500 documents. They turned 130,000 over after 4 years fighting it in court, all the way to the North Carolina Supreme Court, saying that they need to keep all of it secret because it might have some proprietary information in it.
Yeah, they tried to keep it
Yeah,
secret
you
for
got some
70 years,
cancer.
right?
Some cancer drug the people in North Carolina are going to make big money off of, hidden in the Fauci emails. And so it started with me 6 years ago. You're sitting around in the early lockdown. Immediately, I'm like, holy shit, Carolina runs the damn coronavirus research center of the planet. I came to understand that they got about 85% of the coronavirus knowledge at UNC. And then about another 5% is over at Duke across the street. And then the rest of the 10 split between 5 at Wuhan and the rest of the world with 5. Germans too.
So I mean, this is personal. It's in your backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that
backyard.
Utah Heels were that involved.
Yeah. Coincidentally, my my longtime business partner, collaborator, worked in the U.S. Senate with him, happened to be chair of the board of trustees during this.
Yeah.
It is totally coincidental. A lot of people are going to finger him like I'm his cat's paw or something, trying to, I don't know. But it works against you. I don't know. I became convinced that Carolina had something to do with it. And what really frustrated me right away was when I saw they weren't going to release the documentation. Actually, it's before that. I was like, hold on. Everybody wants to know what's in those Chinese commie files over there in Wuhan. If we could just get into their files, we could figure out what it was. And when I started looking up the collaborations, I was like, my God, there was nothing done in Wuhan that wasn't mirrored over here.
Yeah.
And our mirror's bigger. Like we were shining light of knowledge on them. They were the junior partner. I mean, the emails back and forth. I mean, the Bat Lady and Dr. Barrick, our Frankenstein, the head of the lab, were constant collaborators. So why wouldn't we go and look in our files? And now here we are 6 years later, and they fought it all the way to North Carolina Supreme Court and won. So they got to keep the 5,500 documents, 1 newspaper article. I've got 2 pending op-eds at the Raleigh News and Observer and WRAL, the big TV station. I've sent in op-eds before. I've been writing them for 25 years from time to time. I know how the system
Good
works.
for you.
Got no answer. It is so bad the way that this state has a dome of silence over this globally important question. And I'll put it to you this way, because this infuriated me 3 weeks ago. First of all, I could kill probably only 6'3" dude in the South. Not a thing. And just when I see us wasting time on some of that stuff, it drives me crazy in general. And then the chancellor comes out 3 weeks ago and announces an investigation into the football program's general manager for like fart in the locker room. I mean, you're like, what?
It's wild.
And Carolina didn't play a huge role in the hearing, but certainly does with the staff and everybody. And but there were questions asked. For God's sakes, this is one of the biggest stories on earth. There's all of this chatter about Carolina's involvement. Where's the investigation? Just one little look-see, a public comment from the chancellor? I mean, what would that suggest? You know, what's the line between not being forthcoming and covering up?
George, you've channeled your work into a website, right? Could Sierra pull up that? Yeah. What is that?
CarolinaFlu.com, the provocatively named Carolina Flu, because you know the signature color of the university is a certain shade of blue.
Now, is that .com or .org?
That's .org.
.org. CarolinaFlu.org. Okay.
Thank you very much for bringing it up. It's only a couple days old. And what it is, you hear
breaking modern news.
Yeah. And I'll get down to I don't want to lead with the stuff. If you let me talk about it a little bit more, I'll address what this does. Is an independent, unbiased, doesn't mean if you sign, it's an open letter to the chancellor. In sum, If you sign that open letter, you're not saying, I believe there was a lab leak. You're not saying, I believe the lab leak happened as George and Jim Haslam did, the two guys at the hearing, who were the first signatories, and we developed the letter, and we have a very specific hypothesis. We do believe there was a lab leak, and we think we know who did it, right? But that's a separate matter than just saying we need to test the hypothesis of whether Carolina was involved in a fashion that is not being disclosed thus far. That's it. Now, what do me and Jim think? Me and Jim think it was this chick named Danny Anderson that worked for Duke that went over there to test a bat vaccine on some borrowed bats at Wuhan. And she went over there for 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, and then she leaves and the cell phones clear out. Got her cell phone, allegedly.
Shady.
Her cell phone. Because there was an intelligence leak right after the pandemic, and they had half dozen, maybe a little few more cell phones at Wuhan that are trackable for over a couple of years. And 2 of them originate in Singapore, and then it flies around the world to Dubai and Kenya and all these places and follows the itinerary of a particular young researcher named Danielle Anderson. And then you see her go to Wuhan. And then you see her go from the dorm and back and forth. She was the only Westerner resident of the Wuhan Institute, right? And she worked for Duke University, which is the COVID corridor here in North Carolina, 15501, the COVID corridor. And she worked for them, and they needed it. Here's one of the challenges with this, is that most lab leakers believe, let's say, even if they're generally kind of lean conservative or whatnot, that sloppy Chinese communists leaked something and it was probably made at Carolina, if they know the next level. Okay, well, that's you're getting there. But actually, what we believe happened was the diffuse team of Carolina, Duke, EcoHealth Alliance, and the Wuhan Institute that were applying to DARPA. Now, why the Chinese are on a grant application, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. Of course, this was a secret application responding to a grant request that was public. And they said, we want to vaccinate bats. Or they said, the government said, we want to vaccinate bats. So you'd go and suppress or activate their immune systems prior to a dangerous version of SARS coronavirus popping up in some cave. You go activate their immune systems by giving them a highly transmissible but not terribly mortal virus. Sound familiar? Mm-hmm. And then they got turned down on the DARPA grant. And then as you do with grants that you get turned down on, you go for the next pot of money and you retool the grant, change kind of what you're aiming
always the money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Always the money.
This was only a half dozen institutions and 6-7 people.
Nothing new under the sun, right?
That's right, buddy. But what they had to do to win the next one that was from Fauci, a part of it, so they lost $14.6 million when DARPA, and they lost it to their buddy Vince Munster, who was just arrested coming into the Detroit airport with monkeypox a couple of months ago and got indicted this week. Shows you how careful Vince is. But so Vince had won the previous one. Then Carolina Duke et al. Lost was going for the second one, and they needed one more test to feel comfortable they would win the grant. And that was testing it in Chinese horseshoe bats. And there was only one sustained colony of Chinese horseshoe bats they could run it through, and that was at Wuhan. So they borrowed their bats.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, Danny flew over there, was running it through their bats as one of the few people that can go in a BSL-4 with dangerously infected creatures. And these horseshoe bats are really squirrely, right? It had been very thoroughly run through, as you can tell through its genetic and affinity. The affinity that the virus has, its natural reservoir host you'll hear about sometimes. So essentially, its best breeding ground is 4 or 5 different types of animals, none of which live in China, period, and all of which are used regularly in laboratory testing at the Rocky Mountain Lab by Vince Munster and the gang up there. I mean, that's what it grew up in. I mean, it's so fucking obvious, some parts of this, that you're like, I cannot believe we squeeze out one half-ass investigative piece by somebody like the Atlantic or something will do something every 2 months. You're like, the whole fucking story's here, man. You can tell this thing was raised in lab animals. Okay, so they lost that grant to tune it up. She went over there, and there's actually cell phone data that shows, presumably, allegedly, her cell phone. And then she leaves, and the parking lots clear out, the barriers go up, and the world goes to hell. And they've been covering it up since. And then the cover up from there are only about 6 people that knew, but then a whole bunch of people had to participate from then on, one way or another, willingly or unwillingly. So that's a lot of information. And
but your participation has honestly been huge, George, and we do appreciate that you've been doing this. And I hope that everybody will take a moment to go on to carolinaflu.org to sign that for you, because what you're doing and your efforts and all of this, I salute you, George, and I certainly appreciate you putting in the time and the effort to actually stay on this.
Tim Haslam, who wrote the book. If anybody wants to know how it all happened, it's COVID-19 Mystery Solved. It's from China, but it ain't Chinese junk.
No.
And but see, that letter's important, man.
That is important.
It, like any petition, it's struggling along for signatures, and I got like 60 in the first couple of days. I think it'll do okay, and if it doesn't, fine.
Well, I'm going to go on and sign it and share it out on X. So
I just signed it while we were on this call.
Oh, hell yeah.
Same Z's.
I'm convinced if you had 1,000 signatures on this, it would actually not only move the needle, I think it would damn solve it.
Yeah.
Because Carolina has been so quiet on this, continued silence is hurting them. Every day that this gains more, if it takes 1,000 days to get 1,000 names, eventually they're going to start listening to us.
Yeah.
Well, they are listening to us. I think they're probably very, very nervous elements of the university, as they should be. And they just, but they need to come clean. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
Yeah. One last thing, George, before we get on to the news here, just wanted to ask you briefly, Cosmic Summit, is that happen in 2027?
Yeah, I'm calling the convention center Monday.
There we go.
Yeah.
We love it.
I've done that a couple of times, but we, just gotten dates, but this time we're serious.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Same spot.
No, excuse me. It'll be in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh.
Oh, I love Raleigh, North Carolina.
People love Raleigh.
Raleigh is great.
I'll
be there, George.
I just want to comment too that I talked to Beckett about this a few weeks ago, and he's thinking big for this. He want because the last one I went to was like I went to the last 2 and they were both great, but the last one in particular was amazing because there was so many interactive experiences, like going to Michael Donnellan's movie, the vases, touching Matt Bell's vases, the field trip to kick it off. That's where I met Megan, my producer. And I'm wondering if you know, like, if you have any, like, maybe a little teaser of any ideas that are floating around for this next one.
I don't know. Have Filippo come and show us what's really under Raleigh.
Nice.
Or maybe what's
That's
really
awesome.
how about what's really under Pilot Mountain, where we all went up there that day.
Ooh.
That'd be cool. When Filippo went
gorgeous spot up there.
Yeah, and Filippo went up there.
I was standing
That's
right next to
awesome.
him up
Just,
there.
hey, Filippo, can you want to know something good about that whole thing? So I was frustrated when I got to know the system increasingly and what the scans and how long it takes and all that kind of stuff. And I got frustrated months ago. I'm like, my God, I mean, can't you go put this stuff? Because I was doing an interview with him once and there was a bunch of whirring. And I was like, could you turn your air conditioner down? And he goes, but George, that is the servers running the computation. In your office?
In your office?
He's got 3 or 4 of these things from
that's hilarious.
all he had. And I was like, my God, he's in touch. I know with all these rich people and all this stuff. And I'd give him $1,000 a month just to get on Amazon Web Services, right? And just move it into the cloud. And he said, but you cannot put it on the cloud. It's too important. Right? You had to have a sandbox environment.
Local servers. Oh, yeah.
Right. And now, as of a few weeks ago, he's got 100 times more computing power than he had.
Oh,
That's awesome.
And that is the bottleneck. It's not, I mean, you give it enough computing power, it's going to get like MRIs.
Well, the Breaking Ancient News boys are ready to hop in on the Cosmic Summit and help you out however you need when you're ready. So
Absolutely,
you just give us the word and we'll rock and roll for you.
Think how much fun all of us would have breaking new scans and stuff like that.
Exactly.
All going on podcasts and saying, okay, we're going to do a 25 show live stream.
That would be insane.
Pretty amazing.
Show what's under Cusco.
Oh yeah. Well, they, apparently they've pointed those scans, those satellite scans with Andrew Barker up at Southwest Montana. Are you familiar with any of that, George? Yeah, well, their team, yeah.
It always surprises me when I hear about others. So I'm sorry, these guys are for the wall, for the rock wall?
Yes, and there's a bunch of stuff over there in South Montana. Yeah, the Sage Wall, the Tizer Dolmen. I'm actually heading back up there this week to meet with Julie Ryder, who's kind of the one that broke all that stuff. So we need to get those scans pointed back over there.
Are they in touch with him? I'm sorry, you were saying they were in touch with him.
I'm not, but apparently Julie was in touch with the scan team. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Tell her if I can be of any help. Let me know.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Will do. Well, hey, speaking of events and speaking of things to go to, let's move on to the next subject here, because we always like to cover a little bit of drama that happens in the ancient history community. Surprisingly, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama.
What? No way.
Yeah.
Drama in a community is unheard of.
Pull up that tweet there, Sierra, for us from Jay. Because Jay went to Contact in the Desert. And now remind me, Dave, have you been to this one?
Contact in the Desert. Yes, I've been to Contact in the Desert.
So here's what Jay says. He says, I would never speak at Contact in the Desert again. They want to profit from your IP while preventing you from doing the same. They don't pay you. They don't cover any of the travel costs. They make shitty DVD birds of your stuff to sell. And we'll let you upload it. F them. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we're here with a guy that puts on events, and it's like literally the opposite of everything I've heard about Cosmic Summit. From that, it's, the community behind it, the way they take care of the guests, it's completely different. So, Dave, what are your thoughts on this? Since you've been to the Contact in the Desert?
Yeah, I've been to the Contact in the Desert twice. The first time I went to the very first one by accident, just outside of Joshua Tree National Park with my ex-girlfriend. We happened to be camping while it was happening, and there was only one place we could camp, and it was like this huge field, and there was just a bunch of tents. It was just a huge field and a bunch of tents. But down the hill, there was a full-on UFO conference going on at this campsite. And I was like, this is the coolest. So I had a great time, but like I didn't know it was Contact in the Desert. And then I went back to Contact in the Desert 2 years ago with Mike. Shout out Mike if he's still watching. And it was very commercialized. I did feel as though I couldn't, like, for example, like George was talking about Pilot Mountain, the Pilot Mountain trip. Well, I happened to be standing right next to Filippo Biondi when they were doing the ceremony at the top of the mountain, right? There's something about Cosmic Summit where like you're just like, it's just an intimate feeling. You look over and you're watching Michael Donnellan's movie with Michael Donnellan. He's right over there, And Contact in the Desert didn't really feel like that. I had a really good time while I was there, though, like just because I'm a UFO guy. Yeah. But I didn't realize I had been there before till like after I left.
That's funny.
But it's not a bad spot. I don't know. Like, here's the thing: I wouldn't want to go to an event like that and pay for everything myself if I'm a speaker. Like if I'm going there to like, and I've got a whole 2 hours and I've got like meet and greet stuff going on and whatnot. And I have a big platform like Jay's, just to be honest, like I wouldn't want to do it for nothing, but he's saying he had to pay for his hotel, which I think is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't put on events. Like, I don't know how, I don't know what like it is like behind the scenes with this sort of stuff. So I think, but we have
give us a little insight, George. It's not that bad with yours, is it?
No. But see, that's because I lost a fortune. Right? I mean,
they're trying to maximize money for sure
at the expense of making sure everybody's happy. And if you didn't figure it out, then bad on you. But you don't go throw a shitty conference. Not necessarily saying that I didn't go, but I feel for him. I mean, it's tough, man. It's as people always say about event stuff, and I think people take their word for it. And I used to take people's word for it, but now that I got into it, I'm like, oh my God, it's just terrible. There's a lot of things to pay for.
Did you guys happen to see the second comment there?
Which one? From
no,
who?
what? Can you read that? Yeah.
American Ape. He says they're horrible, got infiltrated 3 years ago, or years ago by 3-letter agencies. I noticed it when Gaia became their biggest sponsor the year Vaughn
Daniken.
Yeah, he traded Hancock for a little while on stage. I thought that was interesting.
That is
earlier, and I was like, "Oh, well, then that's why." It's
I've always heard that they always send people to these conferences. Not
for sure,
but maybe one person to take notes because they want to see if any real stuff's gotten mixed into the crazy stuff.
Well, the Thunder Generator's been investigated heavily by 3-letter agencies, and that was introduced to the world at a conference, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as they're paying, bring it on.
Yeah, Just buy tickets like everybody else, please.
Yeah, can I give the agency a promo code?
Well, it's honestly wild to me, and I don't always see eye to eye with Jay. He's kind of been a dick in his interactions with me, to be honest. But that aside, this is one thing I can like really agree with them on. Those conferences, when you're doing something and working them, I've done MC work at the first Quest conference. That was a lot of work. I worked my ass off for 3 days straight from start to finish. I was constantly in motion, making sure the next guest was ready. I was ready. Cues were going on at the right time. Like, that shit's a lot of work for the speakers. They are preparing something, standing on stage, giving an exhausted performance. For people who haven't ever done that, it's easy to like sidebar judge, but you are pouring out every bit of yourself into that microphone.
I'm going to remember that you do MC work.
I do.
Well, he does.
I'm available.
Like you love it.
And he was doing like a lot of what Steph does for you as well at Cosmic Summit. Just all of these behind the scenes stuff he was doing as well. Cody really made that conference happen.
Well, I thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. But I mean, to Jay's point, it's a lot of work, and I think that to some degree, you know, the people that are being asked to go there and make the conference what it is need to have basic things taken care of. And if it's up to them to promote their own merchandise, make sales off of that, whatever, okay, cool. But I don't
really get why Jay was surprised though. Usually, it's almost like
you would think,
he thought things were going to be paid for and then they weren't. And I kind of get that, but that's
and he's always participated, right? So it seemed like maybe a situation had changed behind the scenes was kind of the read I got from it.
Yeah, and that can happen. But I kind of fulfilled all my obligations. I had a bunch of people come and paid for various things, particularly hotel rooms. I mean, I must have given away 45 3-night hotel rooms. I only had 25 speakers, so there's just a lot you give away, and that part maybe can get a little messed up. But I don't know. I trust Jay. He had a poor experience, and he will not. He enjoyed the Cosmic Summit. So.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, speaking of events, enough about contact here, because we want to actually offer. Cody wants to actually offer a special promotion for a new upcoming event. Cody, why don't you just give us a little rundown? What are you doing?
So Quest is coming up in Austin, Texas, this October. I believe the 16th through the 19th at the ACL in downtown Austin. And they have hooked me up with some tickets, and I have one to give away here today. So it's going to be very easy. All you have to do is make sure you are following myself at the East 10 Outpost, Aaron at Megalithic Mystery, and Dave at Dave's Multiverse on either X, Instagram, whatever social media is most convenient for you. You have to be subscribed to all of us, following us, whatever they want to call it there, and share out this very stream. Share it out right now. Tag the 3 of us, and the first person to do that will know. We get the notification. You get a ticket. That's it. That's it. So follow us all.
Seems pretty easy.
Share out this stream right now, real time. We will know the winner before the end of this. You get 1 floor stage ticket, and just make sure you are following us, share out this stream, and tag all of us in that post.
That'll be great. Thanks for that, Cody. And all 3 of us, 2 of us, jury's still out on Dave. We'll be at the Austin there. So if you want to meet us in person, obviously come down to Austin. It's going to be a fun event. Dave, have you decided whether you're going or not?
On the spot. Let's hear it, Dave. How's it looking, buddy?
Put you on the spot. Call up
live on air. Tell us. The people are waiting.
I have to visit my mom in Canada, in like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna make up my mind after that.
All right.
Dave's mom, if you're watching, we love you. Convince your son to do what's right. You know, tell him to go.
I really do want to go.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun event. But let's move on to some other breaking ancient news topics here, because you know, we've been going for like an hour, and
Oh,
man,
nice.
we're hardly even diving into these ancient history topics, which is great. No complaints. I love this conversation. But you know, who was it, Cody or Dave? Which one of you guys is handling Göbekli Tepe?
Oh, I believe that's Mr. Dave.
I thought we were going our channels first.
Oh yeah, let's hit up our channels real quick. Yeah, so I'll actually share my screen here. I did want to show with you guys a share. Yeah, let me know when that pops up for you guys. I wanted to share. I've been putting out some good shorts recently that have been getting a lot of attention. You know, I've done explorations of hundreds of ancient sites all across the world, and I've got terabyte almost of photos from all these places across the world. So I've been putting them into little shorts. Here's one I released today. Really cool, this cornerstone here, and it's cut on all three sides. So this part's really cool right here. This tiny little stone fit in the middle. This is another cool part here at Kolmai. You see this awesome megalithic wall, huge stones, perfectly fit together without mortar. But then we come back up here, you get to see what this was really about. Look at this. Still are overgrown with the jungle, this huge cavern back in here. And look at the size of this stone right here, how it curves around the corner and is cut on all angles, leading back in here. Wow. Megalithic altar, stones built all up around this. Whoa. This is cool. Wow. Really cool. This cornerstone here goes around, wraps around all three sides. The entrance to the cave. And it's cut on all three sides. So that's at a cool little site called Kolmai.
Excellent, man.
That video.
Great short, yeah.
That's awesome.
I love the interstellar music background.
That was a fun one.
That kills
it. I love posting these videos like this because I spent so much time in Peru. I think I've lived there for close to 3 years in total now. But I go to these places where like nobody else goes. I mean, everybody goes to Sacsayhuaman, everybody goes to see Machu Picchu, but Peru has so many of these sites that are just so underrated. That's a site called Kolmai. And that block that was on there is literally cut 17 different cuts that at different angles intersecting with the blocks around it. Like obscenely complex. Like we build things today that are complex. We don't build things that are complex like that. It's complex.
It's like showing off. It's like they're just showing off.
Absolutely. And they did it with, I mean, if you believe that the Inca did it, they did it with no computers. So, I don't really believe that the Inca did it. But
yeah, I mean, if you had a stone carving magic wand and could just play around, it could make that's kind of what you would do. Let's just make something nobody could make unless they had my magic wand.
Right.
It's like it's like a
they were telling a story.
Yeah.
Anyways, go follow me over at Megalithic Mystery. If you guys are going to win the hat today, we're doing a bunch of giveaways today. We need you to follow all of our channels because we're going to do the ancient satellite map game. But follow Megalithic Mystery, underrated channel. Appreciate you guys. But also one of the more underrated channels, the guy that gets all of Joe Rogan's guests before they become Joe Rogan guests, is Dave over at Dave.
I swear he's a scout for Joe.
Yeah. What's been going over in the multiverse there, Dave?
I just get lucky. Lately, we've been dropping a bunch of different videos. We drop videos weekly every Friday around 2:00. This last week we had Wandering Wolf, Michael Collins, just came back from a trip to Japan, and we talked about all the different megaliths there, as well as just what his tours are like and that kind of thing. It sounds like a really good time, and it was a fun conversation. I'm going to play you guys a quick intro to it. But if you want to see weekly interviews like this, UFOs, UAPs, consciousness, psychedelics, lost ancient history, science, check out my channel at Dave's Multiverse. Here we go. And that's Megan, my lovely co-host.
That one right there is Masuda no Iwafuni.
This is the spaceship stone.
Yes.
what the heck is it? It's 11 meters long, 8 meters wide, 4.7 meters high. So again, 7th century. Again, burial chamber.
800 tons.
800 tons. This is one. This is one
piece. Yeah. Its estimated weight's something like 500 tons. It's massive. Yeah. It looks like it's floating there. But there's actually a central pillar underneath it. It's still attached to the bedrock. What you're looking at is all quarried out around it from the bedrock. It's another one of these stones where it's a mystery. They don't know its purpose or its age.
What the? Looks like an anvil. So that's the most recent episode. Have you got George? You ever been to Japan, man?
No, I haven't. But I'd like to have your same guest. Who was it? Who's
Michael Collins?
That's Michael Collins.
It's the
Wandering Wolf.
Yeah, the wolf.
Yeah, we should get in touch. He's a good friend of the show. He's been on here too.
You should talk to him.
Oh,
on
yeah.
the show, George.
That's right. And I hadn't. He couldn't make the summit, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, he was going to go, but something.
Yeah, it was the
happened
last
with his
minute. And then I haven't interviewed him, but I thought maybe we reached out and didn't get it put together. But no, that's a good one. I mean, Fred, I'm going to draft behind you too, Dave. Right?
Yeah, and FYI, George, if you don't know, George got his Cosmic Summit YouTube channel. Does excellent interviews. It's a great channel.
Mm-hmm. The Cosmic
subscribe.
Podcast is my little part of it, and then we've got the Titan Media Network.
Yeah, what's going on? Tell us a little bit about that. That's been pretty. They've been doing a lot. They've been doing a whole lot lately.
And we're still finding our way. There are two sides to the organization. I'm a partner in it, founding partner with Beckett and Trent. Names you'll hear a lot about this, and that's because they did all the social media et al. For the Cosmic Summit, starting from the very beginning, and got to know some of the speakers, and then got Randall as a client. And saw an opportunity. So now they have 25 or so creators that we're supporting. So think of it this way. If somebody has a super popular podcast, or say you're Cassie Coppersmith and you're able to do wonderful long form stuff, right? Do you really want to wake up between trips and have to do 3 shorts every day? Nah.
No.
You know, it's possible. You know, these tools are available to all of us. So, but can you pull it off? So, and do you want to make sure it gets out on TikTok? And you know,
that's the roughest part right there. Is getting them uploaded on all the different socials. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting, and it's like any kind of division of labor thing. The interesting thing is, most of the creators. There's another side to it. It's cool too for people who aren't organic or, out of nowhere. But most of the creators did this themselves, say Cassie Coppersmith, right? And she's just a mom and an executive who loves to travel.
Awesome.
She's incredible. But and then she goes on Rogan, for God's sakes. You know, and that all happens organically. Well, then there's still that same person who turned their camera on them in the basement 18 months before. And all of a sudden you're on Rogan, you kind of need some support. You need a family. And that's what we're trying to be, is a family of creators and support for them, and something of a concierge, and we'll book your podcasts and do all that stuff. Cool. So that's one side of it. And then we have a creator arm that actually we're going to kind of rebrand back to Cosmic Summit. It moved over to Titan, which I was fine with, but now they want to move back to Cosmic Summit. And we're doing weekly updates like y'all are, live streams, you know, all the same game, with some great hosts like Matt Barone, who's become a good friend, and Beckett does a lot of content, and we bring the creators in, and I don't know, man, we'll see where it goes. It's exciting as hell, though. It's a lot of fun, and thanks for mentioning the channels.
Yeah.
Claire says, please get Beckett on here. He's easy on the eye. I had him on my show, and I had a bunch of comments about that, but I think we should try to get him here as a guest.
Claire, you just got to, Claire, we've been talking about it forever. You just got to come to one of these conferences and meet us. Beckett will be there.
Yeah.
Yourself
the girl I'm seeing said he needs to cut the Jesus hair.
He does have a little bit of Jesus hair going on, but
it works.
I like it. I like
does.
it.
He looks good long hair, and he's got a beautiful new wife. So go ahead.
That's
Rain
great.
it
Yeah,
in.
it must be working for
Rain
him.
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, check out those channels. And another channel that people need to check out is the East 10 Outpost over with Cody McDonald. Cody, what's been going on over at East 10 Outpost these days?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I have been so well. First of all, I've been fighting the government and doing way too many anti-flock activities to make content. But in between that, and as it relates to history content, I have actually just about brought to finish my next episode of Expedition Yucatan. So everybody can go to my channel. It should be dropping hopefully by 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. But this episode is into Xibalba, and you can see Aaron and I explore Yashuna, and I happen to have exclusive footage that somehow escaped archaeological documentation. They knew about it. They made a floor to it in either the 80s or the 90s. That floor has since rotted out, deteriorated, but I risked my way over across that broken floor, crawled through a portal in the wall, and entered a shamanic entrance into Xibalba. It's archaeologically significant. There's only a couple of these known throughout the entire Maya world, and this one at Yashuna has never before been documented. I'm going to have exclusive footage tonight, so make sure you check out at East 10 Outpost.
What time
Wonderful.
again?
I'm hoping by 8 p.m. Eastern, and this video is going to be a long one. It's going to be about 55 minutes to an hour long, and it's going to be a full site exploration. It's going to be a full history of the site as well. It's a very long-standing site in the Pook region, so absolutely beautiful place.
I need to apologize to anybody watching this video. I need to apologize. I'm featured in the video, but I decided because the UV index was low, we had just gotten done exploring Chichen Itza, we were hot and
It was
sweaty.
a perfect day.
I'm shirtless in the whole video, so I'm not the feature of the video, but you're going to see lots of that pasty body in the background. So apologize.
More sex appeal than you can handle. All right.
The reason it's pasty is because we sit around like this. It's a beautiful day out there.
Yeah,
I know, and we're in front of damn cameras
This
and
low
lights.
humidity, and then we're sitting in here talking about the fucking pyramid
with a light in my
Yeah.
face.
It's how it be, George. It's how it be.
Well, hey, we gotta entertain all the nerds around the world. We got Rubate who's jumping in from Australia. He just chopped in the chat. So
Welcome, Real.
We're here for you guys. But
yeah, make sure you check that out tonight.
We do, yeah. Check out East 10 Outpost. Get on there tonight. And we do want to cover here some, mainstream news type stuff because it is popping in the mainstream now. Dave, what's been going on with Göbekli Tepe? They got the trees out. They got some new stuff going on. Give us a rundown.
A lot of activity.
Yeah. Sierra, if you could just pull one of the articles, it doesn't matter which one. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that.
The video.
Yeah, that totally works. So archaeologists at the world's oldest temple complex just flipped the script on human history in the northern sector of Göbekli Tepe, freshly exposed after the controversial removal of the olive trees, which we've talked about multiple times on the show. Excavators have uncovered 10,000-year-old rectangular stone buildings that look like everyday houses, not just ritual monuments. Jimmy Corsetti and the alternative archaeology crowd are already celebrating. The exact ground he warned was hiding critical ruins, and it's now yielding the next chapter of the Göbekli Tepe story. The war over what is this place really just got a whole lot hotter. And so I go ahead and play this for about 1 minute, Sierra. And if you could maximize the screen, please.
Yep.
Starting from one edge of the area and continuing northwards, almost immediately remains of buildings were discovered at shallow depths. Due to their rectangular shape, they're believed to date to the pre-pottery Neolithic B, which is the second phase of occupation at the site, when rectangular buildings were favoured over the oval structures that came before. Basically, the shape of the architecture evolved. The shallow depths of the buildings were somewhat of a surprise, but a welcome one, because it's allowed archaeologists to identify the ground plan and site organisation much faster than expected. In several cases, the floors of the new buildings have already been reached. The unusually shallow depth is partly the result of erosion. The upper sections of the ancient walls have been worn away long ago, leaving the surviving portions of the structures close to the present ground surface.
If you want to have a job...
Now you can stop it.
Wild.
So I think this is like massive. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is huge. I think this changes everything. I wanted to ask the group and the chat. I'll just pull it up here. What does finding 10,000-year-old houses at Göbekli change the most? Does it prove it was a real settlement, not just a temple? Does it confirm the builders were more advanced than hunter-gatherers? Does it vindicate Jimmy Corsetti's olive tree warnings, or nothing? It's still just a ritual site.
Yeah.
Well, let me. Yeah,
I'll raise my hand. You know, Jimmy and I have been at odds at times, but you got to give him credit. I think he moved the needle on this, and I think the internet moved the needle.
Yeah, same.
You know,
same.
So, and that's kind of different for us. 5-10 years ago, there were plenty of people bitching on the internet about this or that needs to be done, or seems like they're hiding the pee here, and usually there's no reaction. But it does seem like this was inspired by Jimmy's work, so we can just hope for the best for things like the Second Sphinx.
Do you think it proves it's a real settlement? Do you think that's enough to say?
No. You mean rather than they visited it?
Yeah, because supposedly,
which always seemed
supposedly it was done by hunter-gatherers, is the mainstream narrative, that there was no people living there. They just showed up there.
Have they reported that there was anything? Because usually they say there was no settlement because all you find is the bones, and they came in, they ate the fowl. They seemed to have the same diet every time they came in, and maybe they had a big feast and left. Okay, so if you go in the homes, do you continue to just find the animal bones from the feast, or do you find a washing machine and the baby crib and, do you find domestic things? And I haven't seen anything, maybe y'all have, that says, yeah, not only does it look like it would be a habitation, but we found evidence that there was family making there.
What did you make of it, Aaron?
Yeah, here's the thing about Göbekli Tepe and the whole Tas-Tepler civilization and Karahan Tepe and the whole region. It's like 5% explored, 5% excavated. Like, what the hell are we even doing? I hate that we are trying to, and I say we as in just a general term, not us specifically, but the community as well. I mean, it's something that we naturally do, but we're trying to say, oh, well, this proves this proves this, it proves this. And it's like, we are working with such tiny little puzzle pieces. It's like there's a huge puzzle in front of us. We've got 5 pieces that are Göbekli Tepe, and we say we've got it all figured out. Well, the rest of the puzzle is still buried under the earth. I think it's a great start. And it is funny though, because the mainstream narrative just keeps having to change and change and change, which is good, that because they are adaptable to new information, as it seems. Göbekli Tepe pushed the narrative of, when humans were doing a lot of things, and Göbekli Tepe took a long time to get accepted by mainstream, but it actually has, and it has moved the needle with a lot of things. So it's the more that we excavate, the more the needle's going to get moved, the more things are going to get pushed back. And it just reinforces the idea in my mind that we just need to approach these things with humility and with curiosity, because that is what makes things so much more fun, instead of trying to impose what our predetermined views are about this and how it got there. It's just, let's have fun exploring the process, because it is a mystery to what's down there. We just need more excavations.
Well, my whole channel slogan is stay curious, because honestly, it is more fun to not have the answers for all this shit. And that's why I thought it was wild when Jimmy came out in the first place and said, hey, maybe it's irresponsible, archaeologically speaking, to have trees planted right over what's probably ruins. And the amount of Egyptologists that were willing to go on the internet, log on, maybe have a couple beers that day, who knows, whatever led to their poor decision making and forgetting that the internet is in fact forever. And so many academics, and specifically Egyptologists, for whatever reason, swarmed on Jimmy and shit all over him for saying, trees damage ruins. And they said no, and besides, if they were, the ruins would be so deep under, and olive roots are shallow, and this and that. Dumb ass shit for any academic to say, because if anybody has ever been to an ancient ruin, Aaron and I walking all over Yashina, tree roots have absolutely obliterated the largest temple on the site. That's what they're going to do. They're going to invade and reclaim. But so to find out that these houses were sitting so shallow under those olive tree roots, it's like the meme of the applying the clown makeup like one stage at a time. All of you ex-academics that hopped on there and shit on Jimmy for the trees, you've reached the honk phase. Congratulations.
Well, it just seems so obvious to me. I don't understand why it was so even obvious. A thing. Yeah.
Well, it's because he said it. They had to fight it, right?
Does it give you guys the whole, like when that was happening, when it was in the heat of the whole tree debate? I remember thinking to myself, like it seemed like a COVID scenario.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas like this whole Main Street, like everybody just was like sticking together against common sense. Like you're talking to doctors that are just like not following common sense things, not telling you to get vitamin D. So it's like they're sticking together to try to hold this institution, this ivory tower, because, and I imagine it's a lot of self-preservation. If you're involved in the academic community and you start to go against the narrative of said academic community, you stop getting opportunities in the academic community. So
is it possible
a little bit of self-preservation,
right but wrong though? Well, let me understand a couple of things. Is the idea that the archaeologists had egg on their face because there are habitations and they had claimed it was purely hunter-gatherers?
Well, egg on the face for a couple of reasons. Number one was the trees, because Jimmy said, "Hey, these trees might be destroying things," and
there's separately. But then he got it looked under. Let's just say he was responsible.
Yeah, so the second point was that yes, this was only a gathering place for like meeting up of tribes and celebrations,
which has been the narrative since the 90s,
and was not ever a permanent residence.
Which they have over and over claimed that the Tas Templar area was simply a spot where different nomadic peoples would meet up, exchange, genetic sequences, and then head back their separate ways seasonally. That there's no evidence of permanent habitation. And then right under the spot that they were like, "No, Jimmy, there's nothing there," is another like egg on their face moment. So it was really kind of an onion, of looking like shit. So,
but then something was covered up. I mean, it wasn't the idea that he believed that it was planted there to conceal something,
right?
Okay.
That he has mentioned that
was a stretch, and that was, I think,
silly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it didn't conceal anything too ground shaking. I mean, we didn't find a UFO under there, but I guess we did find habitations that kind of undermined what they said. But I got a feeling they were planted inadvertently. Somebody got yelled at, and they went ahead and booted up another dig there.
Yeah.
Well, my understanding is there's write-offs that they get because the olives are a national plant. There's certain write-offs that they are able to get and claim, and money that they can save by continuing to use it as an olive farm. I actually dug into it pretty extensively, like a year and a half ago, whenever the hell he first started talking about it. Because fuck the WEF and anything they're involved in. But the long and short is, though, I don't think they were planted that nefariously, except for money reasons. But regardless of the fact, the digging in and the being like, no, there's not anything under there. It was so silly, that the doubling down has just made them look preposterous as always. And good for us, good for Jimmy, and an L for them.
I want to frame this though by saying that they that we're talking about are like online Twitter archaeologists. Like
correct.
It's not all archaeologists.
And Lee Claire, the fucking lead of the site. No, like fuck Lee Claire specifically. That guy's kind of a dick, and he will talk out of his ass just to try and crap on Jimmy.
I think the online Twitter archaeologists are disinformation agents.
Well, that guy is the head archaeologist out there at Göbekli Tepe, and honestly, he should log out of X or get a social media manager, because he is doing his entire field of archaeology in a huge disservice. That guy's fucking whack.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen up, guys. We're winding down to our hour and a half mark here. We like to usually keep it nice and tight. So what do you guys say we just end things off here with a little friendly game of the ancient satellite map game. Or is there anything else you other two guys wanted to bring up before we kick it off?
Let's jump into it. Let's do it.
All right. All right. Well, you know, I would like to invite our wonderful producer, Sierra, who has just been crushing it this show. Great job, Sierra.
Bravo, bravo.
I want you to pop on camera here, Sarah, if you would, because you and George are now going to go head to head playing the ancient satellite map game. Say hi to the audience, Sierra. Everybody welcome. Everybody be nice to her. You know, she's new. She's doing great. We love Sarah. But George, this is a fun game. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. I've got some satellite maps from Google Earth of ancient sites or sites that have historical significance, and you get to guess what site that is. I'll give you guys some hints. We'll go.
Yeah, you do. And Dan, not to put pressure on you, George, but Dan Richards killed it last
year.
He
got like 95%.
He cleaned up. I was the champ. I was the champ, and then I didn't play against Dan, but he definitely got the ones I didn't get too.
I spent more time on Google Earth than Antonio Zamora.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Well, here we go. And then we're going to play it for the audience as well. So what I'm going to do with you guys, I'm going to let me know when you're ready to share there, Dave. And I'm going to show this image between you and Sierra, George and Sierra. You guys just shout it out whenever you find the answer here. But here's number one.
He's a plateau.
Boom. That was easy. That one was the,
you know, it's the level one.
We get progressive.
You're in for it today, Sierra. Now you know how it feels to be Cody every week.
You guys set me up. Just because I was a flight attendant for 12 years doesn't mean I've been everywhere.
Well, you should know what it looks like from above, all right? You should have the advantage.
I just want to point out that, look, see my little golfy thing here? That's the New Giza City Golf Course right there at the top.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, golf like the Pharaohs, baby.
They got some really nice condos there. Actually, that's the one at the hotel.
Yeah.
It's actually just off the thing. They just closed that one. Yeah. I think you might see it.
My mom says hi, Sierra.
Yeah. All right. Here's number two. Number two, here's the location. Where do we got here?
Oh.
Sacsayhuaman.
Sacsayhuaman. There we go. Points for George. Sacsayhuaman over.
Shit, Dan's got to run for his money.
Yeah.
This is, I'm
Here's
we
number
got to put
three.
Dan against George.
Stonehenge?
Stonehenge. George, you are quick with this. Sierra did get it too, but yeah, that's Stonehenge at number three.
Talk about the
I think Sierra gets the sympathy point. I usually get a sympathy point. This one goes to her.
No, you only get sympathy points on the hard ones. Here's number four. This one's hard, or this one gets a little bit harder.
A little harder.
It's in the Amazon.
Chichen Itza.
Chichen Itza, correct. Not in the Amazon, up in the Mexican Riviera.
The Yucatan.
Chichen Itza with number four. All right, here we go with number five. Now, this one I may have to get you hints on.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
Chaco Canyon.
No, that is a good guess. This one's over in the Middle East.
Petra.
And featured in a very popular Harrison Ford movie.
I think he just
Petra.
got it.
He said it. He did.
Petra. Perfect. I missed that there. Number five with Petra. Nicely done. All right, here we go. Number six. Sierra, you ready for this one?
No. What? Oh, that's
Serpent Mound.
George is just too quick with it.
Sierra gets points for blah blah blah. I knew she knew what it was.
Yes.
Here, I'm going to show you.
Nailed it.
She knew
I
exactly
figured
what
if
it
I could
was.
distract, then I could remember what it was called.
All right, here we go. Number seven. You guys ready?
Oh, actually.
Actually. Put it on the board, boys.
Angkor Wat with all of the veg stripped off?
Oh,
No.
good guess, but no,
I know.
not Angkor Wat. This little building.
Corral.
Oh, not Corral. Nope. This one is down in South America. This one's in Bolivia.
Oh, no idea.
Oh, Pumapuca.
Yep, we'll give it to you. It's Tiwanaku, right next to Pumapuku.
I had no idea either. It's
That
okay.
is interesting, though. It does look like the one in India.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one. Here's number 8 here.
Oh, I know this is. Oh, I don't know the name. It's literally.
It is in India.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know the name of it.
Oh, the name of that excavated temple that's excavated out of the rock.
Yeah, and then there's
correct.
like several caves.
Exactly.
Shavin Von Tar.
With a K.
Nope. Not Shavin. Yep, it is
I've
the
never committed the
Kailasa
name of that
Temple
place.
or the Kailash Temple. Kailash
Kailash,
Temple. Yeah. All right,
Ever
here we
been to
go.
India, George? No, sorry.
All right,
Easter Island.
No, good guess though. This was one of the bonus ones we did for the audience.
Pacific
And
Ocean.
the key here is this little purple indicator is what you're looking at. So what is this site right here?
Atlantis.
That's a good guess, but we're actually looking for a provable, definable site. This is the Pacific Ocean.
In the east, right, Aaron?
This is in Asia, near the island of Taiwan, but it's owned by Japan.
God, it is the Yamanuka, you know, the Japanese.
Yonaguni. That is correct. Yonaguni. Yeah, there we go. So that was round one. I think, George handled that pretty handily.
Yeah.
But let's go one more round here, and then we'll go to the bonus for the audience. So their audience members can all win the megalithic mystery hat shipped to you anywhere in the world here. Okay.
I win the hat.
Oh,
I'm shipping you
George,
one anyways. You get one for being a guest on the show. Yeah.
Don't bother.
Oh, there we go. Sierra gets 1 point. Sierra gets a point for that one.
Oh,
on the board.
The reshot structure. There's the reshot. This is my favorite view right here with this plane.
No.
Plane wing.
That is cool.
I love that view.
Seriously, I want to go. If you guys go, I want to go.
One day we're definitely going
to. In
to.
a backpack.
Friend of the show, Stig Hansen.
Stig Hansen.
Friend of the
We
show,
need a guide,
Archaic
Stig.
Lens. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here's number 2 for round 2.
Just sometimes he comes back.
That's sometimes.
All right, here's number 2. What do we got here for you?
Oh, no, I don't remember this one.
Oh, the Parthenon.
That is it. That is the Parthenon over there in Greece. You could, yeah, very nice.
We've
Here's
seen
my
it
favorite
3
picture of
times
it.
now, Sierra. What are we doing?
I wasn't here last week.
Yeah,
She wasn't here. All right, here's number 3.
Oh, it's the one that's underground.
Blackwater Draw, Younger Dryad.
It's the one that's underground, right? Because you can't see anything from above.
Yeah, that's
negative, Sierra.
It's some kind of archaeological site.
It is.
Murray
It's over in Turkey.
Oh, well, the Sierra should get a half point for that.
Is it Göbekli?
No, not Göbekli. The other one.
Karahan Tepe.
Oh shit, Karahan Tepe. I've been there.
Cody, you've already done this one.
I get a fucking point, Aaron. Can't take it from me.
Yeah.
Karahan Tepe over there in Turkey. All right, here's number 4. Now you don't have to tell me where it specifically is, but you just have to tell me what this is.
An Ohio mound complex.
Woo, George, you are on fire. That was so fast.
Either Wycliffe or
this one's one of the Hopewell mound sites.
Well, yeah. Hopewell culture.
Yeah, that's right. All right, and then here's number 5.
And that's the one that's underground.
Sierra, I'm going to give it to you. You're a little bit of a cheater, but I'll give it to you.
Nothing. What do you see? Nothing. Exactly. It's dirt.
So
under the dirt.
So George, this one's Darren Kuyu. That's the whole point of this. Is it's all underground. You see nothing.
They don't have like a visitor complex.
It's just a shack over the hole.
Hole.
Well, it's actually you get into the complex in the city itself. So you're like in the middle of the city that's above ground, and then there's like several entrances down into the underground complex.
Yeah, it was originally found in a guy's basement, right? One of the entrances, like in the modern era, that's how it was rediscovered, was through a guy's basement work.
Yeah. Well, and here's the bonus for this week.
Moving forward instead of basement digging.
Yeah. All right, here's the last one. What do we have here?
Baalbek.
Oh, that is correct. That is Baalbek.
And George is fire at this game.
Done.
No, I wasn't joking. I spent the 25 years looking at aerial photography for my business, right?
Yeah.
And so when I wasn't looking at the business stuff, I was looking at all the other stuff.
Yeah.
George was made for this.
Yeah. All right. This is the one. This is the bonus we did last week.
It's in India.
Not in India.
Drum roll.
It's not in India?
No.
Indonesia.
Well, it's not Danny Hillman's site. It's not Gedong.
Nope.
Zoom in on the top of
No.
it.
Yeah, I don't know my Indonesian temples.
Oh, we might have.
And there is a lot of
This
them.
might be the only one you did. This one's Borobudur. Borobudur.
What is on the top?
Vaguely familiar.
I don't know.
It's
Wonder
a
what
great
Geometric designs.
Yeah. All right. Now listen up. We're playing now the ancient satellite map game for the audience only. You other guests and co-hosts on here are not allowed to participate, but we are monitoring all the chats across all channels. There's, 220,000 people potentially that are watching this. You guys get your chance to win this hat right here. I made this one a little bit difficult, and so I'm going to give people one hint. One hint on this right here. This is located in the Western Hemisphere.
This is just for the chat, right?
This is just for the chat, not for you guys. First person in our chat to shout this out, drop a comment.
I
If
don't
it
know
doesn't
what it is.
during the live,
Not in the
then-
Bahamas.
Then we'll go over. Not in the Bahamas.
In the
It's on-
Bahamas.
Yeah. So this is only for the chat, guys. Let me know what it is.
Do you know what it is, Cody?
No, this one's tough. I made this one tough. But if nobody figures out during the live chat, the first person that comments on this video with the correct location will win the hat. And we'll get in contact with you about that.
Oh, and I should mention, it looks like Samurai Vaughn was the first one to tag all three of us. So congratulations, sir. You won the ticket. Send me a message and I will get you that information.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Is that
all right?
right?
Well, listen, that just about wraps up our show here today, everybody. We'll post some more stuff online because there's a couple of stories that we didn't get to. Some 100-year-old sun and moon tracker was discovered in the Czech Republic. That's pretty crazy. Some new stuff discovered of Viking ship burial with Bronze Age grave beneath it. So we love all this breaking ancient news. We're going to bring it to you guys as much as we can. But thanks so much for joining us. Thank you so much, and shout out to the legendary man himself, George Howard.
George Howard.
George.
A wonderful visit. 10 out of 10. Enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you
appreciate
did.
you,
I'm glad
man.
you had
Anytime.
fun. We're getting you one of those hats. Don't worry. We'll get you shipped out one of these hats, and
Fantastic.
hopefully somebody else in the chat can get it. We had a few options: Cahokia, not Alaska, not Poverty Point, not Newhenge, not Woodhenge. This is going to be a good one. Why not Watson's Break? I hope somebody in the chat gets it. Drop a comment after the video drops here because we're going to end it. Any last words from you there, Cody, over at East 10?
Stay tuned for tonight, Into Xibalba. And I'm going to be dropping that hopefully by 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you're subscribed to @East10Outpost.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. Subscribe to East 10 Outpost. Dave was getting his dance moves on for a sec. But Dave, you got some final words?
Yeah, next week we're dropping an episode with internationally best-selling author Paul Wallace talking about paleo contact. He's 33-year in the Catholic Church, former archdeacon. He's built several churches. He's deep into the biblical theology and research, and he believes we were contacted by extraterrestrial beings in the ancient past. Check it out Friday afternoon next week. And thanks so much, everyone in the chat. And thank you, George. And thank you, Sierra. Great job tonight.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you.
Hey, bye, everybody.